Rabbi teaches in the Zohar Kadosh a very important concept, which everybody has to know about this. It says that several things, we want to learn over here. Number one is that when there's a magefa, lo alenu, like we had COVID, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, we had COVID. So it says, that what happens is that when there's a magefa like this, when there's a plague like this going on, the Satan has permission to kill people, whoever he sees. So therefore, the proper thing, it says in Zohar Kadosh, that a person, should stay indoors as much as possible when there's a magefa like this going on. Because if the Satan sees him, he has permission to kill him. So you shouldn't be seeing him in the street. And this is the best thing to do. Stay indoors. You want to get some groceries? Get a delivery. Don't go out. Whatever you can do to stay home, much better. Right? That's the very important thing. Because once he sees you, he's got permission. Watch out. So that's why Rabbi Shimon, what happened was one time, his son, Rabbi Elazar, and his friends were in a certain town. And Rabbi Shimon, with his Ruach HaKodesh, he felt that the Satan came over there to the town. To kill somebody, whatever it is. So he told them, he warned them. He says, listen, the Satan is over here in the town. So don't go outside for 3 days. He's going to be here for 3 days. Don't go outside, stay indoors. Because if he sees you, he has permission. That's why he warned them, not to go outside. This is the same concept, right? So it's an important thing to understand, that when there are things like this, lo aleinu, it shouldn't happen again. But a person should try to stay indoors as much as possible. This is the way to say it. Where do we see this, by the way? In the Chumash, where do we see this concept? It's there. Huh? Pesach. Okay, good what you're saying. But even before Pesach, right, there was Noach, the Ark of Noach, right? What happened was that once the Satan got permission to kill people, right, he told Noach, go inside the Teva, don't come out. Stay indoors. Because if you come out, he can get you too. Watch out. So that's why he told him to hide in the Ark, in the Teva. That's one example. Then, as he said, right, also for Passover, same thing. Same thing over there. So there are, cases like this also brought down in the Chumash, that a person has to hide, for a certain amount of time. When there's a magefa going on, Satan has permission to kill people. That's one thing. I want to tell you also another thing, which is even more important because this happens all the time. All the time this happens. What happens? Lo aleinu, right? People are dying all the time, like people die, They get old, 85, 90 years old, they die. What can you do, right? 120. They should live until 120. But the thing is, that what happens is like this. They pass away, people, and, we have a funeral, right? Lo aleinu, right? To levaya. We have levaya to do. So what happens is that the Satan comes there to the levaya. That's what it says in the Zohar Kadosh. Where does he go in the levaya? Where is he located? Where the ladies are, where the women are. That's where he goes. Goes to the Ezrat Nashim over there. Ezrat Nashim. Why is that? So says Zohar Kadosh, the reason is because that's his custom, He already learned that from the time of Adam and Chava, right? He tricked the woman, into eating the fruit. So he knows how to trick the ladies. So he says, what? Let me hang around with the ladies, I know how to play with them. I go over there, So he goes with the women. Right? So what happens, right? When they go to Levaya, from the time that they take the dead person out of the house, right? The corpse, right? The niftar, until the time they take him to the cemetery and come back home, all this time, says Zohar Kadosh, Satan is there. Where is he? As we said, with the women, right? Now, here's the thing. Therefore, it's dangerous over there, in the women's section, Ezrat Nashim. So what happens is, if a man goes in there, it says, right, in Zohar Kadosh, into the women's section, the Satan has permission to kill him over there. He has permission. Not only that, he has permission to kill some men. He gets permission. What does he do? He accuses them, goes up to Shemaim and accuses them because of their sins, because they went to the Ezrat Nashim. Some man went to Ezrat Nashim, the place where the women are, and he accuses them, and he accuses them because of their sins, and they die. Lo aleinu. makes accusations on them. Why? Because they are with the women. And this caused everything, the whole problem. So, therefore, right, says Zakadosh, usually, right, if it wasn't for this kind of problem that we had, listen to this. People usually live out their lives, like until 120, right? Whenever Hashem gave them, 85 years, 90 years, whatever it is, right? But he says, because of this, what happens is that people die prematurely. They die early because of this problem, because the men are going into the Ezrat Nashim during the funerals, during the Levaya.
If you went to the funeral, you're making mitzvah.
Sure.
It doesn't protect you.
It's a big mitzvah, but it's not a mitzvah to go with the women. That's not a mitzvah. You know what I mean? Stay with the guys. Stay on that side, right? So, says the Kadosh, this is the reason why they die early. So he says the Oracle like this, what is the solution to this problem, that this shouldn't happen? You know what happens, says the Kadosh? It's not like one or two people. Most of the people who die early in their lives, they go early, is because of this. Because of this. Can you imagine?
What's the problem?
Don't hang around with the girls. Stay away from them. That's the problem. That's what we're saying. So, here's the thing. Right? Comes and tells you, Zakadosh, how do you prevent this problem? You want to stay away from this, get away from it? As Boris said, right, it's a mitzvah to go to Levaya, so what are you going to do? Say, I'm not going to go. What do you mean you're not going to go? You're chayav, it depends, right, on the situation, but sometimes you're chayav to go, you're obligated to go. It's a mitzvah. So you cannot just say, I'll stay home, and I'll watch, I'll be a babysitter. No! You have to go, but if you go the right way. That's the thing, So what is the right way? Says Zakadosh, the right thing is like this, If there is a levaya going, right? Let's say they started with this house, the niftar. They started from his house, and they're going to the cemetery, right? Little by little. So it says, in Eretz Israel, by the way, what they do is they walk, to the cemetery. They walk all the way, to the closest cemetery, and they bury him. Over here, everybody goes with cars. You know what I mean? But over there, they walk also. Big group of people walking, all the way to the Beit Kvarot.
We used to walk in Russia.
Oh, there you go, right? The good old days. The good old days. So, what happens is like this, right? Says the Kadosh, if you're going with a group of people walking like this, Levaya, don't look in the back, where the ladies are behind you. Don't look at them. If you look at them, this can harm you, Satan has permission to harm you. Don't look at the ladies. What's the problem? What's the problem to look at the ladies? The problem is? The problem is that it's pritzut, Right? What are you looking at the ladies for? What are you looking for? You got something to look for? You're searching for something? You know what I mean? It's not sniut to look at women, to gaze at women. What business you have to look with them? Satan comes and says, he comes to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and he says, you know what? Doesn't it say in your Chumash, right? Kriyat Shema, V'lo taturu acharei levavchem ve'acharei einechem. You know what Rabbi Shimon says, right? You know what this means, this pasuk? Lo taturu. Don't look at the women, It's avodah zarah. You're looking at a woman, it's avodah zarah. You're straying away, your heart is straying away from Hashem by looking at the avodah zarah, the women. Some of these women also, today, a lot of them, they make themselves into avodah zarah. You look at them, you see avodah zarah there, right there. Pritzut, terrible. You look at a woman like this, you're looking at avodah zarah. Lo taturu. That's what it says. So Satan goes up there and tells Hashem, listen, this guy, he's checking out the girls, this guy. What is it with this guy? He likes to check out girls. What? He says he's religious, he's a tzaddik, hasid, he learns Torah, he keeps Shabbat, every kashrut, but he likes to check out the girls. Why is he doing this? For what? Why? He has a wife, he's married. What does he need to look at other women for? Even if he's not married, what is he going to do? Find a shidduch in the levaya? What is he going to do? He's going to find a shidduch over there? What kind of thing is this, right? That's not the place to look for a shidduch. When you go to a funeral, what? That's not the place. Okay, you get the idea, right? So says our Kadosh, this way, turn your back to the women, and don't turn around to see them. Don't do this. Because the Satan has permission to harm you.
I think you should clarify, because some people might think that this goes for non-married people as well,
It goes for everybody.
How define a shidduch?
Not at the cemetery, right? Not at the funerals. Maybe you can find her at the wedding, it's much better. At the wedding. Or you can find her, at the I don't know, maybe Azkara you can go to, whatever. But not at the funeral.
I think you should clarify, because some people might think that, to not look at women at all. And they're not gonna
Yeah, they shouldn't look at women. Only if they're going on a shidduch. Right, for shidduch. But otherwise, asur to look at them. Asur to gaze at them. We spoke about this already several times. But anyway, I see your point. I got it. You're right about that. But this is not the time for shidduch. That's the thing, Halechud. There's a place for time and everything. Funerals are not time for shidduchim. Because it says, right, in the Zohar Kadosh, the Satan is there with the women. This is not the time for shidduch. It's time for Satan now. You're getting into Satan.
I was just saying, we should clarify, because somebody might get that wrong.
Okay. You don't have to say it 3 times. Okay. So, anyway, I got the point. So, therefore, says the Kadosh, if the women are in front, right, not in the back, they're in front, the ladies. So then turn to the other side, like this. Don't face the ladies. This is what you should not do. Because if you do, Satan has permission to harm you. Watch out. Lo aleinu. Stay away from this problem. So, protect yourself, from this kind of thing. Stay away from trouble. The truth is, that this thing about Satan being where the ladies are, says the Kadosh, it's only when it's a group of ladies, group. Not when it's like 1 or 2 women. I'm not talking about that, right? That's also a problem. Lo taturu, right? It still could be a problem. But, there's regarding what you're saying, right? Rabbi Shimon, there's a Zohar like this also. Rabbi Shimon, one time he was walking with his Talmidim in the street. And some ladies passed by, And his Talmidim started to check them out, Oh, nice. Oh, aha. Right? So Rabbi Shimon told them, no, don't look at them. Velo taturu. You're going transgressing, right? Velo taturu. You know what this means? It's avodah zarah. It's like avodah zarah to do this. What are you saying, my friend? Your wife, you can look at her. It's no problem, right? When you get married, don't worry. You can look at her as much as you want. But, a woman who's forbidden to you, you're not allowed to be with her because she's not your wife, right? So what business do you have with her? As my friend said, right? If you're looking for a shidduch, it's okay, But that's not always the case. So if they're in the front, turn around, right? Don't look at them. Don't face them. Yeah, you have to walk backwards, like Michael Jackson, moonwalk. You gotta do, that's right, something like that. Lo aleinu, right? Lehavdil. That's what you gotta do. Yeah. So what can we do, right? That's the way it goes. So anyway, Rabbi, this is the reason I have to tell you also. There's something very important to understand here. According to Kabbalah, because of this Zohar Kadosh that I just told you, according to Kabbalah, the women are not supposed to go to the cemetery because of this problem. They shouldn't go there. According to Halakha, it's allowed. They're allowed to go. But according to Kabbalah, they shouldn't go to the cemetery. They shouldn't go to the Levaya. They shouldn't go to the cemetery. Because what happens is, says the Gaon Vilna, brings it from the Zohar, as we just said, right? Says the Gaon Vilna, you know what happens? When they go in there to the cemetery, Lo aleinu, the chitzonim, the bad demons over there, right? The bad things there. Cling to them, and when they come out, they go with them. They accompany them, Levaya, they accompany them. They go together with them. They cling to the women, as I told you, right? So that's the thing, Always in these cases, the problem is with the women. So therefore, what I tell, when people, ask me this question, ladies, call me. You know what I tell them? They ask me, Rabbi, can I go to, to Kever Tzadik, maybe to the Admor, right, Milubavitch, or go to Maran Ravadia at Yerushalayim over there, right? All these, tzaddikim, Rabbi Shimon, right? All these places. You know what I'm talking about. So you know what I tell them, right? Listen, if you really want to go to pray there, what you do is like this, Go next to the fence, but don't go inside the cemetery. Go right as close as you can, to the grave. Outside the fence. Because when you're outside the fence, you're not in the cemetery. There's mechitza. Understand? So therefore it's okay. That's what I tell them to do, Maran Rabbi Shalom, he's buried right next to the fence, at the cemetery there in Yerushalayim. So you can go right next to the fence, and pray over there. Why should you go inside? For what? I'll tell you even one more thing, even more severe. One time, they asked the Gaon Vilna this question like this. Listen to this. His mother passed away, His mother was a big tzaddiket. So his Talmidim told the Gaon Vilna, they said, Rabbi, why don't you go, and visit your mother at the cemetery, She'll get nachat ruach, nachas, from seeing you over there. This is what they told him, So Gaon Vilna answers them. He says, she's going to get nachas, but I'm going to get chitzonim. I'm going to get harmed by the chitzonim over there, by the demons over there. I don't want to go there. So Gaon Vilna, he wouldn't go, even to visit his mother. Can you imagine such a thing like this? So Gaon Vilna was a big mikubal. He was big baki in Zohar. So what should a person do, Also, Maran Rabbi Shalom, he told us the same thing, He says, I don't go to my parents' graves. I don't go there. He says, so what do I do, Ilu Nishmat? You don't have to go to the cemetery for that. You read some, Divrei Torah, right? Mishnayot, say Kaddish, Divrei Torah. That's all you need. What do you need to go there for? What are you going to do over there? What are you going to do? So he said, I don't go. Just like the Gaon Vilna. Mahan told us. Achila, you were saying something?
When we usually go to cemetery, we read the potah, we read some.
Yes.
You don't clean up area over there from demons?
It's not going to help you. It's not going to help you, this thing. So anyway, the point is like this, Rabbatai, that honestly, it's better not to go to the cemetery. According to the Kabbalah. According to Halakha, it's allowed. I cannot tell you, right? Asur. I'm not going to tell you it's Asur. But according to Kabbalah, better not to go. Especially the women. And even the men, if they have no business there, why are you going there? For what? You're going to get all these demons, on your back, riding on your back. You come out, and they're riding on your back. You come out. What do you need them for? That's the thing. Okay, Rabbatai. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen v'amen. רבי חנניה בראש אומר, רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לשגר ישראל, לפיכך חיבר להם תורה ומצוות שנאמר לחפש, למען צדקו יגדיר תורה ויאדיר.